has happened with
I
you?
am.
YouTube.
It is March 4th. Sorry. Yeah, March 4th, 2010.
It is?
It is March 4th, 2010.
Oh, second.
I am going to. No, that was
Sorry,
Tuesday.
sorry.
From the list of questions, do you all think what is most important that I'm looking at in my inquiry? On my first statement online, I said I'll be looking at the forget mold altogether. If you thought mold, you obviously we're going beyond that now. I said I'll be looking at wood and cell structure and construction. I've totally not even gotten into cell structure yet. I'm thinking that could be a side, sort of as a lead up to it, and more on the construction side of it. I've also, in my videos, as some of you have seen, I've looked at other resources and its comparative cost for resources, and also into forestry. I've already got better than 45 minutes of video.
Wow, nice.
So what do you think is most important? What do you think I should not focus on?
So what can you...
Well, how can I refine
What is
it then?
Your main, what do you want to find out?
Well, I've been talking about wood, and I'm hitting a lot of sides because it's so easy to look at different things.
Can you cut out
Food.
the cost factor?
Yeah, that'd be
What
good.
cost stuff?
Yeah, think about building and people
That's interesting.
like
isn't
better
that's
wood,
getting
but
into-
people might not want to pay more for the better wood, so they go with whatever wood instead.
So going for cheap wood alternatives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
That's interesting. I like that.
But
There's so many variables to yours, though. Like, you're talking about what kind of wood makes the best structures, in what ways?
Should I ignore? Are you trying to say? What do you mean?
Well, you had talked about starting off with, like, wet and dry kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, what makes better structure, wet or dry wood. But now you're like, what kind of wood makes the best structure in what way? Like, as far as, like,
Yeah.
thickness, as far as, like, most
pinpoint.
pliable. Like, you know what, there's so many
Yeah.
aspects to that,
And
right?
what
Yeah.
are you building with the wood?
Like, why don't you look at
So
what kind of wood is the most versatile in, like, what is the best bang for your buck as far as versatility, like, best waterproofness, best, like, lightest, because, you know, some woods are just, like, ridiculously,
Yeah, like prettiest.
they're pretty, but they're so freaking heavy that they're not really going to be good
more
to build
less
with.
cracking
Mhm.
resistance.
So if you just look at a versatility as opposed to, like,
So
because
you're
there's
looking
so
for
many
a
factors in
material
So
like the
when I come down to
overall-
my analysis, since it's such a broad, what do you think? How many things should I look at? Not which things, but how many things?
like
To-
maybe
to
there's
focus
maybe
it.
4 aspects of
Four
wood.
aspects.
Like,
Okay.
I don't know, like maybe like, I don't know because I'm not a builder. Like, what would you look at? 'Cause you do-
Durability kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
durability.
like splinter factor, or like moldy factor. I don't know, like rotting.
Well,
like
mold.
what
See, the
kind of
mold
wood
and
rots?
rot. That's why we have a lot of cedar. I mean, the cedar is an incredible
But then
weather-resistant
cedar
thing, but
is-
it's not the
But
strongest.
cedar also, when you go to say sand it, it makes you horribly sick. Like,
Some people it makes them incredibly sick. That's
or
right.
like it's really heavy, isn't it? Cedar, red, or is it
No,
not heavy?
cedar's not.
Or
Well,
oak is
it's
really
it's
heavy.
yeah, oak. The hardwoods are, which are your coniferous or your deciduous.
And it's a totally
Coniferous
depends
or
what
soft.
you're building. Are
Yeah.
you building a boat or are you building a, you know what I mean? So it's,
So I should focus on what I'm building and then pick or what I'm focused on. What the focus of
mostly
building
the
is.
context of
Focus on a couple of things for max on that, and
you were
then
thinking
move
like
on.
house, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
but then
thinking
that could
general
be different.
construction.
Yeah.
Building
Why don't you
heights.
say like,
Yeah. 'Cause
why
there's
don't you
different
look at like
environments that
to
everyone's
build
gonna be
the
in.
skeleton of a house? What is the most desirable? What is the best wood? And then you can look at like its longevity. You can look at its
The skeleton.
Price.
cost,
Yeah.
Mhm.
its
Smell.
smell. You know, like pick maybe 2 or 3, and then
Or-
pick
I love saunas. Cedar is my favorite smell.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like its accessibility and price,
Price.
as
Yeah.
well. It
Okay.
depends where you're living.
Okay,
Sorry, that's a lot of
Kirsty.
me talking.
Echo.
Me and Brittany had
Yeah.
a dual combo there.
Yeah.
You're on it. You're on it.
We-
Okay,
We
good.
tag teamed you.
Guess what? So this is the post collaborative working group wrap up review for me. We had Brittany, who was working on her. I'll look over here because she was sitting over there. Who was working on her, or giving us some updates, and her question was, where is she going with it? And I expressed to her that she may want to, if she's going to continue a little bit more focus, to try the suggestion I had with changing music and changing a sound, maybe a sound movement like jazz or whatever, to calm her down. Also, maybe if she is communicating, communicating when she's being left alone by acting out, being bad, peeing everywhere. Maybe that's an aggression that she should be looking at, the aggressive behaviors, finding out if that has any meaning to it. Brittany then brought out some good evidence from another resource stating that this is just like a feral. It's feral for them to do this. So she needs to figure that out. I tried. Kirsty was still is trying to find out about water quality. She's changed hers a little bit to find out more about the cleanliness of water in different third world countries. That makes a difference on what is out there bug-wise. The point was made that if these same bugs are found everywhere, that perhaps it's something else. Brittany was starting to get into about like what is the difference between third world and Canada, and I added on to that by saying if we have both of it here and we have such a varied climate, we see a lot of parasites in the summertime, that perhaps those who travel south at any time of the year can have these parasites or bugs or viruses or whatever, get them because it's always active, that perhaps there's a climate effect on the activity, because we don't have, for example, we don't have mosquitoes in the wintertime, we only have them in the summertime or spring to fall. Transmission is such, perhaps it's there's an activity climate level. Chantel is working, she's adjusted her inquiry to be based more in the is to look at whales in captivity, and we were talking about, I think it's Tilikum, the whale who attacked its trainer, and and looking at like why is this animal in captivity, because it's one of the last ones that was captured from the wild. That why would we have this, and if it's presenting all these very aggressive behaviors and attacking and posing a risk, why do we keep this in an environment which is hurtful? I wondered if it made a difference, and I said this to her, if it made a difference whether it's a transient whale which travels in twos, possibly threes, and hunt together, or if it's, and they hunt bigger game compared to a pod from a resident inshore group of whales, which are very community. They're matriarchal. Sons and daughters hang out and stay with their mothers, and there's offshore pods which are similar social group but hunt bigger game. And whether or not it makes a difference if any of these animals kept in captivity are staying with family members, because if they're becoming antisocial, perhaps like Kirsty said, like dolphins, they go mad because of echolocation. They're stuck in a small area. If you kept a human in solitary confinement, would that not then be the same? That's the roundup.